Once upon a time, there was a little mouse who lived deep in the woods. He spent his time playing and eating as he pleased. Life was very good for the little mouse until one day a big scary owl swooped down from a tree and tried to gobble the mouse up. Just as the owl gripped the mouse, a snake laying in the bushes nearby shot out and bit the owl. Terrified and in pain, the owl flew away, leaving the little mouse behind.
"Thank you so much, Miss Snake," said the mouse joyfully. "However can I repay you?"
"Oh, no need to thank me," replied the snake with a smile. "I'm only trying to take care of those less fortunate than me. In fact, I was on my way to your home to offer you my services." The mouse gave the snake a curious glance as the snake continued. "You see, I have watched you for a while and thought to myself that a mouse as small and weak as you is deserving of care and protection. Please don't leave your home anymore. I will fetch you food and water. I could hardly bear to see you suffer in the wide and dangerous fields." The mouse considered this offer and thought it to be good. He would remain safe and could play inside his home all day, and so he agreed to the snake's offer. The snake kept to her word and brought the mouse food and water every day. This went on for some time, and soon the mouse came to be very comfortable with the situation. He missed being able to play outside, even though he knew it was best that he avoided doing so, and although the mouse offered, the snake would never stay behind to play with him. "I have many small animals such as yourself to take care of," the snake would always say. "I will play with you one day when I am less busy." The mouse understood and looked forward to the day where he could play with his kind friend. Besides, the mouse had to spend time digging a bigger home. He was getting to be a little plump and had trouble moving around the corners in his house. A few days later, the mouse noticed that his friend was also becoming a little fat. There was a big bulge in her belly, and she seemed to move slower than usual.
"We should go play together in the forest," suggested the mouse. "That way we can both lose weight, and you can protect me."
"Soon, little mouse, soon," said the snake. "Give me a few more weeks, and I will make time for you." The snake put down the mouse's food and slithered away, but as she did so, the mouse noticed a small white bone fall out from between a pair of the snake's scales. Taking a closer look, he noticed that it was a mouse bone. The mouse was suddenly afraid. His friend had obviously been eating other mice, and the bulge in her belly must have been another poor mouse that she gobbled up. But she had been so kind to him. Surely he must be mistaken.
"How could I doubt my friend?"
thought the mouse.
"Even now she's only helping other little creatures like me."
He decided to call out to his friend before she left and asked her about the bone. The snake turned around and noticed the bone. Thinking that the mouse had discovered her plot to eat him, she immediately said, "Oh, you sneaky little thing. You have found out about my plan to fatten you up." And with those words, the mouse had heard enough, and he knew that he had to run away. He immediately dashed into the safety of his home, hoping to get away from the snake. "I see you, little mouse," cried the snake. "Your home will not protect you from me." The snake leapt into the entrance of the mouse's home. The mouse ran as fast as he could, but his home was not very big. He couldn't get too far away from the snake, and by the time he reached the end of the tunnel, he realized he was trapped. Fortunately for the mouse, the snake's recent dinner stopped her from moving too far into his home. Her fat belly caused her to become stuck, and she had to wiggle to move forward any amount. This delay gave the mouse enough time to dig his tunnel ever deeper. He started to move upwards in the hopes of escaping his home before the snake caught up to him. He dug, and just when the snake was a tail's length away from him, he managed to burst through the walls of his home and made a jump out of the way of danger. However, the little mouse was just a little too slow to move. The snake lashed out, and before he could complete his jump, the snake bit down on his tail, severing it clean from his body. Unperturbed, the little mouse continued to flee, Dashing through the trees, he spotted a bright light of a forest fire and decided to run towards it in hopes of getting across. Panting and stumbling, he faced the approaching fire with fear. However, the snake, who had managed to escape the long tunnel of the mouse's home, was near behind him. Without looking back, the mouse decided to leap into the fire and dash between the burning branches and the grasses. His fat little body was occasionally singed by the fire, and much of his hair was burned away in the inferno, leaving behind only pink skin. The snake, who was driven by her anger, followed the mouse without a second thought. However, her long body and bulbous stomach made it difficult for her to avoid the flames. Moreover, she was sleepy from having eaten so soon, as well as pushing her way through the mouse's home, so her senses were dulled, and she too was burned by the flames. After running for what felt like ages, the mouse finally pulled himself to the other side of the fire. He turned around just in time to see the snake, burdened by her dinner, catch alight and burn in the flames until all that remained was the charred dead body of the cunning snake. The mouse was relieved to see the snake was killed by the fire, but he knew that he could not linger. There would certainly be other animals that might try to eat him in the vicinity, and, because of the fire behind him, he decided that he could not return home. So with the snake gone, the little mouse decided to find a new home in a new part of the forest, far away from where the snake had tried to fatten him up for her lunch. And even though the mouse had gotten away, his shortened tail reminded him of the danger he once faced. In his new home, the mouse made friends with many other small animals and warned them all of the dangers of the snake and those like her. The mouse made sure to keep his body quick and his vision sharp in case a snake should ever find him again.